Hey, how's it going? My name is Jason. I have a conspiracy channel on YouTube with about 30,000 subscribers. Recently, I posted a couple of off the wall theories, and I've been getting death threats in person every time I leave my house. I live in a very small town, less than 10,000 people, called Bourne, Pennsylvania. Um, the last three times I've left my house to go grocery shopping, etc., I've had people threatening to kill me because I figured out the whole New World Order conspiracy, the truth, and you aren't going to believe what is actually happening right now. There's a demon named Azazel that, using CERN, they freed from the realm called Dudanel. It's called Dudanel. It's kind of like it's like a pocket dimension. The archangel Raphael placed him in. They used CERN, it's like a cosmic fishing net, to somehow capture him and, I believe, pull him back into our realm. I know I didn't believe in God 4 years ago, and I seen a giant, a 14-foot tall white skinned giant in an underground passage I found in an abandoned building where I was investigating the murder of one of my friends. She was gang raped in a satanic ritual, and the police covered it up. And I went to the murder scene and found all these sigils, one of which was for this fallen angel named Azazel. A movie called Fallen came out in the late 90s. I actually seen this movie in high school. I remember going to the theater and seeing it with Denzel Washington, called Fallen. It's about this demon Azazel possessing people and using their bodies to commit murders. Let's go ahead and watch this to get a little bit of background about what I'm talking about.
Edgar Reese.
Monsieur, it's the brilliant detective who sealed my brutish fate. Remember this, Hobbs? What goes around really goes around.
You have a safe trip, yeah?
Is on my side.
Go ahead! Light up my life! Criminals like Reese, they kill a few people, somehow it ain't their fault. But what took place tonight is the consequences of what I do.
You're home early today.
For a change.
Detective John Hobbs wants to uncover the truth.
What does Azazel mean? Now, my dictionary says that evil spirit of the wilderness.
Walk away, Mr. Hobbs.
But nothing in this world
Is on my side.
can help him solve this case.
There are angels. Some of these angels were cast down, and a few of the fallen were punished by being deprived of form.
Come on, get out of here.
And each touch
And at the execution, did he try and touch you?
Yeah, he did, actually.
passes the soul of a killer into someone new.
Well, I believe what I see, and I'm still trying to get my mind around what I just saw.
Some things, pal, you shouldn't know.
I know you, Hobbs.
Put the gun down.
I know who you are.
Put the gun down!
Time is on my side. Hey, pal.
My work is based upon evidence.
And aren't your facts resistant to normal interpretation?
Hey, Hobbs.
You leave my family alone.
But I'm still having fun.
Denzel Washington,
How do we fight him? Is it even possible?
I believe it is.
John Goodman,
Jonesy, you know I didn't do this.
I know it, Hobbs.
Donald Sutherland,
I know you know more than you're saying.
Haven't you done enough, huh?
Time is on my side.
Fallen.
Okay, pretty crazy sounding, right? Anyone that's familiar with the Bible, they've heard of the demon legion. The demon legion. Christ, when he was called to exorcise the man in the tombs, Christ asked him, he goes, "What is your name?" And he says, "My name is Legion, for we are many." For we are many. What he was talking about is a hive mind. A hive mind. this demon, Azazel, is Legion, and it is real. This is Satan. This is the devil right here. I believe it is Cain. That is what my research has indicated. And that the mark of the beast is this hive mind disease that puts these people into this giant hive mind gestalt. Imagine a computer network where you're connecting thousands of computers together to create one supercomputer. That's basically what this entity is doing. Now, I have two theories. Number one, God is real, the devil is real. Or number two, this was something that was created in a laboratory, some kind of mechanical, technological computer system, nanotechnology, and they're using biblical sources as inspiration. Their intention was to create this cybernetic hive mind, and they called it Azazel. However, I'm kind of leaning towards the whole Bible, God is real, the devil is real part, though. As I mentioned in the beginning, I stumbled into this because I was investigating the gang rape and murder of a girl that I had known for a while. I'd see her at McDonald's. She was this young homeless girl. She had mental health issues. She was gang raped and murdered at an abandoned paper mill in Erie, Pennsylvania. The cops covered it up. I was a little bit of a social justice warrior. I figured that they had covered up this murder to save money, because who cares about some homeless girl that was killed, that wasn't even from the area. She was a transient that had been just coming through town, and I used to run into her in the mornings when I was going to work, and I'd give her a coffee and stuff, give her a couple of dollars here and there. And they kidnapped her and gang raped and murdered her in this paper mill. And I went to the scene, just to document it for a video I was making about it. And there's all these weird symbols everywhere. One of the symbols that was at the 12 o'clock position was this, the sigil for Azazel. Okay, this demon. I ran into a homeless guy at this site, and he told me that they were trying to open a gate to hell. And I was just like, okay, well, thanks for sharing, bud. I'd run into this. Erie's not that big of a city downtown. It's not very big. So you run into a lot of these transients and homeless people. And I started noticing that they all were carrying around spell books, grimoires, they're called in French. And a lot of them were in like Latin, Hebrew, German. And I started thinking it was weird how Erie, PA has all these homeless people that are reading magic spell books in other languages. I had a couple of them come up to me and they would tell me things like, stay out of our business. This doesn't concern you. You can't stop. It's inevitable. It's happening everywhere. And I was getting weirded out. And this girl I knew, she sent me a photo of a shadow she took. It was literally a shadow, human-shaped shadow, standing in the middle of her living room. And I had heard other people in the area talking about these shadow people as well. So I began to research into these things, and apparently it's a phenomenon that's, it's pretty widespread right now. There's even a video game about it. It was a strange phenomenon. I didn't know if I believed it or not, and then I ended up seeing them. I was walking home from work, and my shadow being cast by the streetlights, I happened to look over to my side, and my shadow leans out. It was a shadow within my shadow. It leans out and waves to me and makes a smiley face. I started freaking out and ran home. On my way there, I run into a 5-foot tall, semi-transparent goat man, excuse me. It looked like what they call Pan or Dionysus. But it was real similar to this. I don't have any mental health issues, by the way. I wasn't on drugs. I don't take any medications at all. I should take high blood pressure meds because I'm probably going to have a heart attack because this whole stuff is driving me crazy. I literally cannot leave my house without getting death threats now. I'm afraid to get a job because I'm getting death threats. I just started a new job a couple of weeks ago. My very first day, two of the people there said something to me, kind of alluding to threatening my life. You know, this is happening. This is happening right now. A satanic cult is trying to take over the world right now. They pretty much have control of the world right now, but they haven't fully taken it over yet. They haven't enslaved you yet. That is their end goal. They want to start a nuclear war and then enslave everybody so they can reestablish Babylon, okay? Ancient Babylon. Alexander the great king of Macedon who conquered the world by the time he was 33, he was told the great secret of Babylon from King Darius, or I should say God Emperor Darius, is what he would actually have been referred to in Persia, Babylon. But he told them that they are all connected, that they are truly immortal, which is what they would call the soldiers that protected the God Emperor of Babylon there. They called them the immortals. And it's because it's the same demonic entity inhabiting multiple bodies. Okay? All of these Hollywood one-eye clubs, you ever see the pictures of the Hollywood people doing that? The all-seeing eye? They're talking about they are part of this hive mind, that they are possessed, whether fully or partially. I'm not quite certain. I don't know if they still maintain free will. I do know that they are connected in a telepathic hive mind, though. There's a book that was written in the 1970s by Professor Julian James called The Bicameral Nature of the Human Mind. In it, he postulates, this is a great example of it, God's voices in the bicameral mind. This is somebody talking about the theories, I'm going to have to read this, of Julian James. But he said up until the Trojan War, people, millions of people, the vast majority of people on the planet were guided by voices in their head. And what it was is they're being possessed by this demon known as Azazel. And they think they're talking to God, and it connects them. It connects them into this gestalt, a hive mind. Like I said, a computer network where they become one, but also many. And that, oddly enough, is the we the people, the Constitution, I believe it's on, in the United States. They're not talking about you and me. They're talking about them. They're the people. The Canaanites. The people that took the mark. The beast's children. This is really happening. It intends to start a nuclear war. They worship a god called Dagon, or Fomalhaut, or Corazon. It's Satan. See here, this is a star NASA photograph they called Fomalhaut, which in Latin means above all evil. Okay, look at that thing. They say it's a star, it's not. It's a sentient conscience entity. This is the Eye of Sauron from Lord of the Rings. Notice the similarity? It's because that thing is real. Sauron comes from the word Saturn, which is where we get our word Satan. The world is literally being taken over by a satanic cult that wants to destroy the world. There is a show aired about 5 years ago on Fox called American Horror Story. I used to love it. It's like an anthology series. And they had a season called American Horror Story Apocalypse. About the Antichrist starting a nuclear war. Let's go ahead and watch this so you guys can. This stuff's really happening. This demon has millions of people in power. Powerful people are possessed by this demon because it tricks them. It set up this whole series of fancy rituals and stuff to trick you into allowing it inside of you to make you part of it, a puppet. They actually call this thing love, okay, and unity and stuff like that. It's the furthest thing from love. It is a parasitic demon that wants to destroy the planet. Let's go ahead and watch this preview so I can give you an idea of what is literally happening right now if you do not march on Washington and stop it before it starts. But no one will.
No need for the rules anymore.
This is coming.
The chaos has won.
Chaos has won. They already know this is coming. They can see into the future. They have magic to see the future. You know, this is what's coming. This is what's going to happen because you watching this right now, you wouldn't tell two people about this video. They wouldn't tell two people about this video. You couldn't get 1,000 people together to march on Washington, protesting the upcoming involvement in whatever war they're going to use to stage as the segue to World War III, which will be the nuclear apocalypse. It will be the destruction of our whole civilization. But I can't wake people up. I spent the last 4 years. I seen a 14-foot tall white-skinned giant in an underground facility while investigating the murder of a young girl, the gang rape and murder of a young girl. A 14-foot tall, snow white skinned giant that telepathically told me I am the enemy of mankind and I'm going to destroy your civilization. This really happened to me. I have told thousands of people about this, and it just does not seem to register. I figured by this point, I would be front page news, that I'd be on television telling my story. But it's either no one believes me, or they're too afraid because they know it's real, but they don't know what to do. And I'm trying to tell you what to do. We need to organize and protest. We know this is happening. They intend to nuke the planet, to starve you all to death, to kill billions, to ruin your life. And you're just going to sit there and let them do it. They're going to do this. Watch.
There's a plane waiting for us.
Coco, do not leave me in Santa Monica, you bitch!
American Horror Story Apocalypse.
There's nobody in there.
What?
Welcome to Outpost 3. The house rules are simple. You may never leave the building due to the danger of radiation contamination and no unauthorized copulation. No exception.
What's happening out there?
It's all gone.
Boring! Strangely satisfying, isn't it? Dispensing punishment. It's our world now, to remold as we see fit.
What do you think?
Hail Satan.
American Horror Story Apocalypse premieres Wednesday, September 12th on FX. To see it ad-free, upgrade to FX.
This is really happening. That's like literally a preview of what's coming. The preview of the future. American Horror Story. Whore of Babylon. America was not named for a guy named Amerigo Vespucci, a map maker from Italy. It was named for the actual Sumerian name of Nimrod, Enmerka. Enmerka, America. He wore a cape that was exactly like the American flag. Okay? You might think that you're part of, like, you know, the great God-fearing nation of America, but you're not. This is literally Satan's right arm, okay? They are going to nuke the planet. I have warned people my entire life. I used to have visions of this when I was a kid. and I would tell people this was coming, and nobody believed me. So I started thinking, I was told that I was schizophrenic my whole life. So I started saying, I must be, okay. Let's just attribute everything that I've seen to some like oddity, some irregularity in my brain, because there is no God. There's logic, science, and reason. That became my God. That became my Holy Trinity for most of my adult life. And then I began to realize that God is real. The devil is real. And this is really happening. And if you do not wake people up, I mean, literally, grab someone and shake them and have them watch this video. Make them understand that this is happening. Unless you want to see
American Horror Story.
that. Do you really want this to happen? Because that's what they're trying to engineer. I don't want the apocalypse to happen. Okay? There is another alternative to the book of Revelation that was removed from the Bible by the Vatican called the War Scrolls. The War Scrolls. The war of the sons of light against the sons of darkness. Now, I want to add, before I get into this, Satan can appear as an angel of light. Okay? He is the false light that is the darkness. A lot of people think because of prophecies about the light, they associate the light with the good creator, the good creator God. You know, so they hop right into this bandwagon. A lot of these Christian religions are Luciferian because the word Christian can also apply to Satan because it has to do with the light. The light, but this is the false light. The false light of Satan, you know, of the hive mind, demon, the fallen angel, known as Azazel, the god of the Masons. Now, the War Scrolls here, it talks about 7 total battles waged at the end times. 3 go to the good guys, 3 go to the bad guys. The last battle, when it looks like all hope is lost, God, who hasn't interacted with humanity in probably thousands of years, so long that I've actually had a Mason tell me God has abandoned creation and we can do whatever we want. It's not that God has abandoned creation, it's just that God doesn't intend to intervene because God is watching mankind just sit there doing nothing, absolutely nothing, living like complete garbage, people claiming to be Christian, but they're more interested in their wallet and their bank account than God. That's why there's satanic symbols all over our money supply. The all-seeing eye of Dagon on our money is satanic. But people don't care. They think this stuff's all a game, like it's a joke. But it's not. This is literally, if people do not pick up a picket sign, a cross, some sort of symbol of goodness, and march on Washington when it looks like we're going into war, it will escalate to a nuclear conflict. And it will be the apocalypse of Revelation. You will know judgment, you know. I mean, it's probably pretty good if you're on the right team, you know, God's side, and God raptures you. Although I have had Club 33 members tell me that they've managed to block the rapture by using CERN to put us in a pocket dimension, a black hole. That's what CERN, one of the many, many sickening reasons for the creation of CERN, was to place us in this pocket dimension to block the rapture. I don't know if it's going to work. They also believe that they trapped some like angels down here as well. I honestly cannot believe that God is going to let them win. But that might be the case unless people start waking up and taking a proactive approach to their future's destiny. Okay? These people in power want to start a nuclear war and reestablish Babylon. They want to nuke the planet and take it over after billions of people have starved to death. The United States, in the last 20 years, 85% of our food has been moved to the San Joaquin Valley in Southern California. 85% of the food we eat comes from one place in the country. If someone were to drop a nuke or a thermobaric bomb on the San Joaquin Valley, the United States would run out of food in less than a year. Can you imagine what kind of total chaos that is going to cause? In addition to that, we're going to enter into a nuclear war, likely with Russia and China. Don't quote me on that. The visions I had just showed a nuclear war and the suffering that entails. I mean, I literally had visions of women and children being led on chains and used as sex slaves and currency in a slavery-based economy. I seen a vision of a woman giving birth and the guy delivering the baby and then bashing it off the wall and him and the woman ripping it apart and eating it because they were starving. I seen a vision of a city, a rundown, dilapidated city. A woman with 2 kids traded a moldy bread crust for her kids to some aristocrat. Like, right, it was like he was riding like some kind of weird robot horse. It looked like. I mean, I seen a vision of this giant like a centipede thing and people fighting it, like, and that was like in the far future, like thousands of years from now. It was weird. Okay, I didn't believe in God. I've never had anything like this happen to me before. And 4 years ago, all this weird crap happened in a very rapid succession. I didn't know how to compute it. My brain just shut down for about 3 years. I kept ignoring it, pretending it wasn't going to happen. And then I've been getting so many death threats. Anytime I leave my house, I get people telling me I'm a dead man for talking about this. I have to be right. Okay? I have to be. They are trying to stage a nuclear war so they can take over the world. And I don't think they realize how bad it's going to be. Literally, every plant and animal dead on this planet. People forced to eat one another because there's no food. Literally, the only crops you have, the only livestock you have is each other in the future if this happens. It will be global calamity. God sent me a vision, and I asked what God wanted me to do, and God said, try to stop the unstoppable. And I said, what if I fail? And the answer was Planet Smasher, which I'm not sure what that means. So on top of nuclear apocalypse, the wicked people that are left behind also are going to have to deal with God destroying the destroyed world. Why are we following this path? It doesn't have to be this way. Things are pretty darn good right now, aren't they, Azazel? You run the world, whoever you really are, Cain or an alien. I don't know what you are, but I know you're out there. I know you exist. And I know you're hunting me. And I know you got people that are close to me possessed. I've been noticing and playing along with it, pretending I don't notice this stuff. And I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm seeing weird stuff that you guys aren't responsible for, too. And I'm assuming there's 2 factions at least here at play. I don't know what's going on, but I know a nuclear war is not good for any of us. Listen, anybody watching this, I know what I just said just there, kind of seemed a little off the wall, a little bit crazy, but I know I got a lot of like CIA shills watching my channel on YouTube, so I'm assuming they do it on BitChute as well. I haven't really been uploading on BitChute very often. I wish I had been because my videos get a ton more views on here than YouTube now. YouTube has literally blocked all my content. I get algorithm blocked. None of my stuff comes up on searches. I used to get millions of views every month. Uh, I get maybe 1,000 views a day now. YouTube never monetized my channel. I should have about $80,000 I should have made in the last year off my channel from YouTube showing advertisements. They refuse to monetize me, will not tell me why. I received an email a couple of months back from one of my viewers saying that they worked for Company X, they called it, and they said that about 2 years ago they were given a list of topics that they were supposed to set up the algorithm to kind of like push those topics aside, because they didn't want people, looking into that stuff. They didn't want to expose people to that sort of thing. And she said one of the topics was the fallen angels taking over the world and starting a nuclear war. And she told me straight up, she's like, your channel is like literally one of the top censored channels on YouTube. That's what she told me. And I knew it. I had a feeling. I knew it. Because when I first started my channel, within the first 2 weeks, I had 15,000 subscribers. And now a year later, I only have 30,000. I mean, it was blowing up. And I kept thinking to myself, like, why don't more people watch my stuff? Like, I have good quality stuff. I used to have, like, my channel had really good graphics and all that stuff, but somebody hacked my computer a couple weeks ago. I got offered a job from this guy that I had met on a forum. He said he did security consulting and he needed some salespeople. And I was like, yeah, sure, I'm a good salesman. Let's do this. And then he hacked my computer, like literally within not even a week into it. My computer had a virus. I noticed an instance of Windows PowerShell popping up with a bunch of data streaming down it, looking like it was from the frickin' Matrix. And I instantly knew it was that guy that I was working for because he kept talking about PowerShell and how he's one of the best hackers in the world. And yeah, he got into my computer. I found a 10 gigabyte section of data that was on a hidden partition on our drive. I didn't look to see what it was, but they had hacked it. They had set aside 10 gigs of data, filled it up with God knows what. But I found it, and it was weird because I had to use 5 different programs, partition software packages, and only one of them detected it. None of the other ones reported it, and that's because these people own most of the software companies. This cult does. They're very industrious. They're working diligently to destroy the planet for some damn reason. I think what it is most of them believe that they're just taking over the world, and only a select few are aware of the fact that what the plan really is to just literally destroy the world in as violent and horrible way as possible. Just total utter destruction, nonstop suffering, hell on earth is literally their goal, is to bring hell on earth because they worship Satan, the star Fomalhaut, the fallen angel. I believe it to be the actual Satan, a demon named Corazon. I believe is what its real name is. I noticed when I had discovered that name, my computer began to glitch out, and it said across the screen, it said, "You should not even know my name," is what came across my screen. Another time it glitched out, and it said, "Chaos has won. The queen is now on the throne." And then the chaos magic symbol appeared. This was literally on my computer. Just I'm sitting there watching a video, and it just starts glitching out like this, and all this stuff comes up on the video, and I rewind it, and it wasn't there. It wasn't part of that video. It was some kind of weird chaos magic crap. I don't know. I don't understand it. I don't understand this stuff. I'm just a regular freaking guy. And suddenly, because I had researched into a girl I knew that got killed, ended up going down the rabbit hole. Literally, it's the freaking rabbit hole. The further you go down it, the only explanation is it's literally Satan taking over the world, wants to start a nuclear war, wants to create global suffering, and wants to enslave the survivors. My name is Jason Cataldo. I'm from Bourne, Pennsylvania. I live in Sugar Grove, Pennsylvania, I should say. Email me, call me. I don't care. Text me, prefer if you text me. Listen, you got to rally people. This is really happening, okay? I'd say about a good 50% of the world is part of this hive mind right now. and it just wants to self-destruct. It literally wants to destroy the world and everyone with it because it hates itself. For some reason, some sad reason, it hates itself. I don't want this to happen. I want to have a decent life. I would assume everyone living here would like to live a decent life. Do you think you are going to live a decent life in a post-apocalyptic nightmare? Okay, if you're one of the ones that's gonna got a golden ticket down into underground bomb shelters and stuff that they've been building, good for you. Eventually you're gonna run out of supplies, and why the hell would you want to live down in a bomb shelter when you have a beautiful world created by God to live in? You guys really hate God so much that you would destroy your own environment, destroy your own civilization, ensure that your children and grandchildren and your friends and neighbors all have a living hell ahead of them. Because I know you guys have to have some free will left in that hive mind. You do not want this to happen. You are hypnotized. You are destroying your own planet. You need to wake up, please. If you're not part of this hive mind thing, if you're still watching and you believe me, please tell people about my channel, my video, www.douchecoded.com. The link is down below. I'm uploading this on BitChute, but I have tons of content on YouTube talking about this stuff. I know I'm not the most professional presenter. You know, this isn't my thing. You know, I'm not into this stuff. I wouldn't even be doing this unless I know it's so important to do this. You know, I don't like computers. I don't like sitting in the freaking house all the time. But literally, all I do, I don't even work anymore. I've been living off my savings, which I'm broke now. I'm gonna get evicted next month. But more than likely, the world's gonna be gone in a month anyways. The way things are headed. But I have literally spent my life savings and every free minute of my time trying to warn people this is coming, and no one is listening. No one believes me. I cannot understand how people are working towards the destruction of their own civilization. You are literally destroying yourselves right now. I cannot comprehend why anyone would assist in destroying their own civilization. It's just mind-boggling. If you watch this video, please share this. This is a really important thing. People need to wake up. I've literally told everyone I know that this is happening. I recently found out a few months back that my parents aren't even my real parents. The area I live in is just like it's all Canaanite Freemasons. They want to kill me. Somehow they knew that I would be a problem, or somehow try to stand in the way of their takeover of the world, because as you remember, they can see the future. They're extra dimensional beings. They're the descendants of fallen angels. I mean, they can see the future. I don't know how precisely, but I know they can. And I know whether it's technologically or magic, I know they can do this. And it's even been scientifically proven that a powerful enough laser can see around the curvature of space-time, and time is cyclical in nature, so you can actually see the future and the past. I've seen videos talking about the Vatican has a machine called the Chronovisor that they use for that very purpose. The Vatican, I don't know if you've seen this in the Vatican. I was raised Catholic. I got out of it when I wanted to be a priest. When the Boston Diocese, all that child sex stuff came out, I was like, there can't be a God if he would allow that to happen in his church. The Vatican recently built this throne here in the entranceway of St. Peter's Basilica, which is apparently going to be like Satan's. Look, I talk about this. I talk about this stuff on my Facebook. Banned instantly. Anywhere you talk about this stuff, you get banned. But this throne right here, if you look at it closely, it kind of looks like a sheep's head. And that's talking about the Lamb of God being slain, and this is the throne of Satan. That's the throne that Satan's going to sit on to rule the destroyed world, the horrible nightmare future that for some reason people are helping bring about. Like, I mean, God literally warns all of you, like, Satan's a liar, don't trust him. So what do? You, you start building freaking temples to him. I just can't understand this. I just can't understand. This is where the Pope sits now. This is that's the devil, Azazel. I think that's when they release him. I think he's Azazel. I think CERN is like fishing for him right now. They may have already released him. I don't know. I don't know if that giant I seen was Azazel. It may have been. But I think that they're gunning to bring out the big devil. Like, I think there's something real bad on the other side that they're trying to bring here. I had one of these cultists in Flagstaff, Arizona, tell me, I know you can hear that thing scratching on the other side. And I'm like, yeah, you guys are trying to free it. Why? And he was like, started talking about the legend of Pandora's box, which, it talks about a box that had all the most horrible things that God created sealed away until a day when someone was stupid enough to open it, and then out came all the evil in the world, all the terrible things in the world. And I think it's like allegory for something that is really out there, something that seriously exists, that is trying to take over the world so it can watch its puppets destroy their own civilization. That's literally what it's doing. It's using you like puppets to destroy your own world. It thinks this stuff is funny, okay? I keep telling people, and it's like nobody listens. I've told thousands. I cannot believe I'm not on the front page of the New York Times talking about what I've seen, but nobody believes me, or they know it's real, and they ignore it because they're afraid. Or a ton of my subscribers are Masons. Like, I get death threats on my channel, YouTube channel, constantly. But it's literally this giant hive mind from a two-dimensional world called, like, a priest wrote a book in the 1800s called Flatland. It's about another dimension, a second dimension, and the life forms that live there. Okay, what it's really about is the realm known as Sheol in the Bible and in Hebrew scripture, which is the dimension that the dead were awaiting judgment in. They tore open a portal into Sheol. Remember, the book of Revelation says during the end of days the dead shall rise again, and they have, because these things can interface with electronics. One of the other things that they got cooked up for you guys, because they're literally trying to make this the greatest show on earth. They want to make the apocalypse one to remember. They literally have Terminator robots. Like, they literally have these things. I'm not kidding. I'm not joking. There is a company in Japan called Cyberdyne Systems that makes robots just like this. There's a government agency called Skynet that's making AI to fight world wars with, just like in Terminator. This is really happening, guys. I keep trying to tell people that it's happening, to wake up. No one believes me. I'm not young. I'm not good looking, and I'm not rich. If it was 25 years ago, I probably could have got people to believe me, people to listen to me. I was a good looking guy back when I was a kid, but I'm old now. I had a rough last 10 years. I got set up on 2 separate fake felony charges by crooked cops. I did about 5 years in prison between the 2 bids there. Lost everything I owned both times. Ended up homeless both times. Because I ain't got no one in this world. There's nobody to help me. I ain't got nobody looking out for me. But I still am trying to look out for you people. I don't know why. I should have just headed for the hill as soon as I knew this was coming. I should have just used that money to buy a bunch of supplies and disappeared into the wilderness. But instead, I thought I would try to save souls because I'm apparently an idiot. I really would like to stop the nuclear war because I love my planet. I think it's beautiful. It's the most beautiful world there is, and I don't want it to look like the surface of Mars. That's another one of my theories is that these things are actually Martians and they're terraforming our planet to make it look like Mars by nuking it, killing off all the plant life and animal life, um, thickening the atmosphere, basically turning it into their type of habitat, their type of climate. I've read ancient occult books that were written supposedly by Thoth, also known as Enoch, or Hermes, talking about thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago before the flood, that there was a war between like another realm and the earth, and that was the reason for the flood. It was to prevent these things from taking over the world. Or that's kind of what I gathered from it. People doing dark sorcery, worshiping evil, worshiping these chaos demons. Now we got that Stranger Things show on Netflix, and it's literally about Stranger Things is about an alternate dimension ruled by a hive mind that's trying to invade Earth to take it over to destroy it. It's literally talking about what is happening. Okay, all these actors in this movie here, or in this show, Stranger Things, most of the actors, most of a good number of probably half the people in the world are part of this hive mind right now. They're all literally possessed by Satan, whether fully or partially, I don't know yet. I think it's varying degrees of possession, and it goes from 0 to 100 probably. Where 100 you're fully possessed by this demon, and you probably have a lot of cool magic powers. And it looks cool to an external observer, being like, "Wow, if I keep doing this, I'll be that powerful." But no, that's not actually them. That's not you. They're completely and totally possessed by this demon. There's nothing left of them at that point. Like, all these people are possessed. This is really happening. They are going to nuke the planet. Okay? Truth is stranger than fiction, people. I don't know what else to say. I'm going to get murdered soon. Might even be today. I don't know. I had people last week standing out in front of my window in the snow. I live in the middle of nowhere. 2 sets of tracks. They were right in front of my bedroom window. Probably staring in at me sleeping, thinking, oh, I can go in there and murder them right now. I think they got something a lot worse in store for me. I had somebody tell me that I'm going to be placed in a red room. A red room is what they call like these bondage torture dungeons where people get kidnapped and they torture them like brutally because they're demonic. Demons are into this shit, which I don't understand how any sentient organism could find this sort of thing appealing. I mean, it's unless it's of just such low intelligence that it finds this stuff, which doesn't make sense because I mean its plan is extremely clever. Like it could be that the more people that are part of it, the more intelligent it becomes. But I know this thing is real. This thing is hunting me. It has people that are close to me. I've noticed like my best friend, his wife, my family, all the people I'm closest to in the last couple of years since that vaccine have changed a lot. They say weird crap to me. They stare at me. Weird stuff. And I don't know what to do. If it looks like we're going to be entering a nuclear war, You have to march on Washington. If it looks like we're going to war over anything, other than unless they're directly invading the United States, we cannot allow ourselves, the USA, to enter into a war, because they will use that as an opportunity to invade through Mexico and Canada. Honestly, I'm pretty sure Canada has a lot of these hive mind people in it. Canada, like there's like pockets of where they got a lot of these. I live in one of these occult areas that are part of this hive mind. It's been around us for thousands of years. People just forgot it was there. It went quiet. People forgot it was there. It bided its time, and it just slowly built up its power and its influence. So it can do this. So it can start a nuclear war. This is really happening. Check this out. I think it's Sam. Sam Biden. This is the guy that runs. Yeah, right here. This is the guy that runs the United States' nuclear energy programs. This guy right there. That's the guy that's in charge of all of our nuclear power plants right now. That guy has the power to melt down every single one of those plants. Okay. This dude is possessed by a demon. Okay. All these weirdos, the weird sexual pervert types, they're possessed by a demon. Okay. All of these people that are into that weird tranny, lesbian, homo, weird crap are possessed by demons right now. It's HIV. That's what the mark of the beast is. HIV, hive mind. It's vampirism. It is literally the curse of Cain, vampirism. I tell people this, they tell me I'm crazy, or they threaten to kill me. I can't understand why anyone would want to work for thousands of years to take over the world, to destroy it. It makes no sense. So the only conclusion I can reach is this entity is insane and it needs therapy, maybe. Why would you take over the world and then destroy it? Okay, that's not smart. Bad demon. Rule over it. There's cooler things to do than destroy everything. I know anyone watching this is going to think I'm nuts. You won't share it. You won't tell people about it. When it looks like we're going to enter into a war with Ukraine, you might think about this video, but you won't do anything. Like you won't tell 5 of your friends, like, hey, this weekend we're driving down to Washington to protest. You know, if we had 100,000 people down in Washington protesting all this weird crap, we might be able to save our country and our world and our future. But it's like no one listens to me, and it blows my mind. Well, my name is Jason. I'm probably gonna be dead here in a day or two. Surely by Easter I'll be dead. And then there's gonna be a nuclear war. Because no one would listen to me. The boy who cried wolf. Funny how all these fairy tales make sense when you look at them, you know, understanding that time is dimensional in nature. Everything starts to begin to click. And you begin to understand just how weird reality is. And how little we were taught in school, how many lies we were fed. All to lead up to the point where we allow ourselves to be destroyed by the enemy of man. Thanks for watching. Share this video if you liked it, and you have a good day. God bless.